Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tasked me today, inshallah, with reminding first myself and you all about something very important. And before we begin going back to Surah Al-Kahf, and we speak about the story of Musa alayhi salam and Khidr, we should ask and ponder, why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala place virtue in this surah? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advise us and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam advise us to recite this surah every day? This Quran is for us to ponder and reflect upon. لِكَيْ نَتَدَبَّرْ وَنَتَفَكَّرْ. Inshallah, let's review this story, inshallah. Musa alayhi salam, as we know, was the prophet of his time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed these prophets with being the most knowledgeable. And we know the story how it goes, but وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So Musa alayhi salam, he's asked, are you the most knowledgeable? He says, yes, of course, I'm the most knowledgeable. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him, no. There is someone who's more knowledgeable in a certain aspect. So go and find him. So Musa alayhi salam sets out on a journey to look for Khidr, to look for this man who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him alayhi salam to go seek knowledge from. He goes on his journey with his apprentice. And as you know, they travel. And Musa alayhi salam says, no matter how long it takes, I will keep searching for him until I find him, until I learn from him. Eventually, when they find Khidr, he asks him, can I accompany you? Can I learn from you? He says, you will not be able to be patient. You will not be able to be patient. And this is Musa alayhi salam. He's talking to the prophet of the time. He says, inshallah, I will be. Inshallah. So we know how the story goes. They go to the boat. They poke a hole in the boat. And Musa alayhi salam is confused. It's like, why are you doing this? This belongs to some fishermen. What's the point of this? And he tells them again and again, I told you won't be patient. He says, fine, forgive it. They go on to the next. They find a young boy. And Khidr kills him. What kind of calamity is this? Killing a young child? Do you not fear Allah? Does this make any sense? He told them again, I know, Allah has given me knowledge that you might not understand. You will not be able to be patient. He says, okay, fine. Lastly, they go to the town where the people rejected them, the people were not kind to them, the people kind of pushed them along. And they rebuilt this wall. He said, you could have at least sought some food, some water, some compensation. And then finally he tells them, I told you would not be able to be patient. You do not understand. And now as we go over, inshallah, the few lessons. Wallahi, if we sat and we talked about this, just this section of Surah Al-Kahf, for an hour, 2 hours, we would not be able to benefit. There's so many lessons that we can take away from. But inshallah, we will talk about 3. Number 1. Musa alayhi salam was the Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam of his time. And Allah tells him to go seek knowledge. Allah tells the Prophet of that time to go, to leave, to travel, and seek knowledge. Now, if this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking to Musa alayhi salam, what about you and I? What about us? This shows us the importance of seeking knowledge. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. This deen was given to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is a fard upon all of us to continue seeking knowledge. No matter if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us to be a hafidh of kitabillah, whether Allah blessed us to be a shaykh, an alim, a mufti, whatever the case may be, seeking knowledge is not just for the few that come to Hifdh school. Seeking knowledge is not for those who go and study abroad. Seeking knowledge is fard upon all of us. Musa alayhi salam, what was his attitude towards it? Oh, amdiya huquba. Even if he had to go for years and years and years, no matter how long it takes, he would go and seek knowledge from Khidr. So this is a reflection for you and I, that it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how young you are. This is an encouragement for all of us to seek knowledge. Seek that which benefits us, inshaAllah ta'ala. Now the second thing, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Khidr, وَأَتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِّنْ عِنْدِنَا وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِنْ لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا. Before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the ilm that Khidr has, He brings up rahmah, mercy. And this is something for us to implement. That when we're in the field of da'wah, when we call to Islam, when we call to Tawheed, when we call to La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, there has to be some mercy, some compassion. Whenever we see maybe someone come in the masjid who might be tatted up, who might have earrings, don't look at him and think and assume the worst. Allahu Alam, that person is probably better than you and I. That person probably took the shahada and is sinless unlike you and I. Or maybe a sister comes in and maybe she's not wearing a proper hijab. Compassion and mercy, ya akhwan. Compassion and mercy. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam, did he look down on the kuffar of Quraysh? Did he look down on the kuffar of Ta'if? Did he say these are all people are all going to be in the hellfire? La. He cried and begged to call them to Islam, to call them to Tawheed. Even the Sahaba that made mistakes, he would always try to seek a way to forgive them, seek a way to cover their shortcomings. Likewise, let's not judge people. Let's have mercy and compassion. Whether you're a teacher with your students, whether you're a parent with your children, or whether it's in general in the general congregation, have mercy towards each other. Have compassion towards each other. And the third and final main point, inshallah ta'ala, is tawakkul and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we go over the three incidents, these are all calamities that happen to these people. Calamities. For the fishermen, these are masakeen, fuqara, they are poor. And all of a sudden now their boat got damaged. And sometimes a calamity might strike you. You might lose a loved one. You might get into a car accident. You might be afflicted with cancer or some sort of sickness. And you might think, Ya Allah, why me? Ya Allah, what did I do? But no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah, His mercy, and His wisdom is far beyond our comprehension. Far beyond what you and I could ever understand. For the fishermen with the boat, subhanAllah, there was a king coming, taking the boats around. We all understand the story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them by allowing them to keep their boat and end up becoming some of the richest of the people there. When you go to the parents who lost their child, and what bigger calamity can afflict a parent than losing their child? Something that no one can understand except for a parent who's been through it. Ya Allah, why me? Why my son? Why my daughter? Know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His wisdom is far beyond our imagination, beyond our comprehension. His love, His mawaddah for you and I, we will never fully be able to grasp it. Allah blessed them and replaced them with a better child, with a child who will be the coolness to their eyes, protected them from going through suffering and calamity. And subhanallah, with the last one, وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. And this shows you that as long as you're on the right path, as long as you are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, striving to please Allah, no matter what happens to you and I, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of our family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of all of our affairs. But we have to have that tawakkul in Him. We have to have that trust in Him. Because you and I, we only see one pixel. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sees the whole picture. So have trust in Him. Believe in Him. And inshallah ta'ala, let this be a source of reflection. Every time you read this surah on Friday, inshallah ta'ala, remember what you learned. Remember that there's tawakkul. Trust His plan. Know that He is the all-wise, al-hakim. Now, have mercy and compassion towards each other. And never stop seeking knowledge. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to benefit us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us ikhlas in everything we do. If there was anything that was good that was said, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any mistakes and shortcomings from me and the shaitan. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.
إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشعين والخاشعات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين والصائمات والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما.